Hey Nathan, it's Wednesday, August 12th, and today I'm talking about parallel dimensions, cognitive bias, and cartoon bears. So last week during some downtime in Jamaica, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw this kind of silly article about the popular but somewhat dated children's book series, the BERENSTAIN Bears, and how it's recently been messing with everyone's minds because everyone remembers it as being Berenstain and not Berenstain. This has been really upsetting some people, and using this confusion and the fact that everyone remembers it being spelled alternately, some people have come to the singular conclusion that someone or something has been tampering with our universe and we have memory evidence of it. Now, I'm no theoretical physicist. I couldn't even spell it at first. I swear, it always had an H in it. Or even a regular physicist, so I can't really comment on the existence of parallel universes or time tampering. But many, I'm going to assume also non-theoretical physicists, are claiming that the discrepancy in the way that some people remember it being spelled and the way that it is spelled in reality is strong evidence for, one, that there are parallel universes, and two, that one of them has somehow interacted or merged with ours. In the physics world, the term parallel universes is more commonly attributed to the term multi-universe, which is, as Wikipedia describes, the hypothetical set of infinite or finite possible universes that together comprise everything that exists in the entirety of space, time, matter, and energy, as well as the physical laws and constants that describe them. As with anything that hasn't been scientifically proven, multiverse hypotheses are hotly debated and ruminated upon by many theoretical physicists. Some hypotheses include possible interactions between parallel universes, whether it's merging, splitting, or having effects upon each other in some way. Although I'm not even sure if hypotheses containing these speculations actually come from respected theoretical physicists or just lay people taking sciencey sounding terms to explain their meta-imaginings. More like science fiction than science fact. Either way, from that we get some people believing that somehow, sometime between the past, aka our childhood, from which of course recalled memories are infallible, and now, some parallel universe has altered ours in a way so that Berenstain is now Berenstain, and our memories were not altered accordingly. I mean, how else could we all be wrong? My explanation is psychology, specifically cognitive bias, specifically memory bias. What I think is really the case, or at least partially, is that the ending STEIN is a much more common ending for last names than STAIN, and that people just thought that was how it was. Also, those children books were read by us as children, where maybe we weren't quite paying super attention to the spelling of words longer than 5 letters. On top of it, several specific memory biases can come into play here, like suggestibility, a form of misattribution where ideas suggested by a questioner are mistaken for memory, where people read an article saying, "Berenstain Bears are spelled Berenstain, but I remember it Berenstain with an E, it's an E!" Yeah, I think I remember that too. Or confirmation bias, the tendency to search for, interpret, or recall information in a way that confirms one's beliefs or hypotheses, where people are reminded of the Berenstain Bears for the first time since childhood, and upon realizing that their memory of how it is spelled is different from the actual spelling, believe that there must be some other reason that they are spelled differently other than just that their belief of how it is spelled is wrong. It's hard to accept that our memories are fallible. Being able to remember things like past events, things we learned about in school, like everything really, it's strongly attributed to what makes us human and what makes up our human experience. That's one reason why Alzheimer's disease is considered to be such a sad disease to suffer from. When we're shown something that tests our brain's ability to remember everything infallibly, it makes sense that we would get defensive and look for exterior reasons on why memory and evidence don't line up. But that can be pretty destructive too. So many innocent people are sent to prison because of falsely remembered eyewitness accounts. There's something so human about hearing someone say, "That person did it. I know they did it. I remember seeing them do it," and believing them. John Green made an awesome video about him remembering very much that someone had put poop or pooped in his Nintendo when he and his brother Hank were kids. A couple weeks later, he made a video in which he realized that the whole time, his whole life, he believed a story that he had made up himself that he doesn't even remember making up. But he had made it all up. He made up a story about a poop being in his Nintendo, and it never actually happened. And he had to come to terms with that. While I believe that this whole stain thing will blow over, I'm so glad that advancements in the field of psychology and the study of the brain will further help us to understand the way that we perceive the universe. Nathan, we'll see you on Friday. So narwhals, tell me, do you remember it as steen or stain? Do you think you have a memory bias? Let me know in the comments. Personally, I didn't really read the books much as a kid. They were read to me. I remember seeing it a few years later and being like, oh, it's spelled with an A. And that was that. Hey, Nathan!
Hey, what?
What's your testimony on the whole Berenstain Bears thing?
I remember it being... Well, hello.
Hello.
I remember being a kid and being like, this is spelled funny, Berenstain. So all you Berenstain people out there, you're wrong. It's Berenstain. Boom.
Straight from this guy's mouth.
I'm gonna go back to eating my crackers now.
Okay, thank
Goodbye.
you. Bye-bye.